always stand out as one of the worst in my experience, although there were some unusual outcomes. When I got over there that morning, I had no idea what we were facing. We had one person lying on the ground, not responsive, had no idea who it was, couldn't tell me who he was, and his friends were already on the way to Charlottesville, and the security guy was absolutely petrified. I mean, to me it was actually a little bit funny, although in the situation it wasn't, but he was so glad when I came because he didn't want to have to deal with this one. He didn't know what he was dealing with, obviously. And of course, to see the bison head down in the bushes with the news photographer there, that was interesting in itself. And some of you may remember that that was the day that the BBC was on campus to do this program on global warming. And the reason they were here, they had been to Liberty University a couple of days earlier, and they wanted to do a program that would show two contrasting ways in which Christian colleges might think about the issue of global warming. And so at 6 o'clock in the morning, I was sort of trying to think in terms of putting the finishing touches on what I was supposed to say, knowing that it would be recorded on BBC. And then this incident happened, which pretty much took our minds off of that. But then we went to chapel, and by the time we got to chapel, we still really didn't know what the outcome was. By later in the day, we did, and we were grateful that what could have been a much more difficult situation was probably not going to be terribly difficult. And then on Monday, that was on Friday, on Monday was the Virginia Tech incident. And that's why that program never got aired on the BBC. That was the first reason it didn't get aired, because they were putting the finishing touches. They thought they would run that program during the next week, and then Virginia Tech incident happened on Monday, and obviously that took everybody's attention, so nothing happened. 1 month later, I was sitting in my office, and I got an email from someone in the UK who said that they were listening, one of our alums from there was listening to the BBC and heard me talking about global warming. And so we started to gear up thinking that this would be now a national news story. Liberty University, Eastern Mennonite University, two different approaches to thinking about global warming. And please understand, my next comment is not meant to be disrespectful, nor humorous, but it was weird. And that was, just as we were starting to gear up, then the news came on that Jerry Falwell had died in his office at Liberty University. And so that just stopped the story. They weren't going to focus on Liberty and EMU for that reason. And we did actually wonder, theoretically, it was possible, that one of the last things Jerry Falwell would have been thinking about was these strange people up in Harrisonburg. Because he has been known to wonder, had been known to wonder what kind of people we are up here. I know that for a fact. But it was two ways of thinking about how we approach issues that all of us care about. But that program never aired because of all those events. So now, as the infamous radio personality whom you are too young to know, but Paul Harvey, now you know the rest of the story. But it was, that whole sequence of events is one thing that I will always associate with your class, because
Jerry Wall follows
it all
him.
happened
And the
in your year, and in your first year. For some of you, first year, I guess, let's see, that would have been, is it 3 years ago now that that happened? 07, yeah. So some of you would have been sophomores, I guess, that year. Freshman, yeah, I thought it was your first year, yeah. Well, we wish you the best. I want to underscore what Doug said about contributions. And that is, we know that this is a tremendous investment. We don't take it lightly. The reality is that in spite of how much we charge, which is substantial, and I know that, we still do not charge the full cost of education. Meaning that each one of your educations is subsidized by the tune of about $2,000 per year by donors. And I invite you to think about that as you move into your earning years. And as Doug said, we know that's not going to necessarily happen immediately for many of you, and we do understand that. But what he said about alumni participation rate is absolutely important to us as an institution. More importantly, even than that, I suppose, is your advocacy. That is, when you talk to your younger siblings, friends, other persons in your communities about what an EMU education can be about, I hope that you can be our advocates. And that you can encourage prospective students to look our way. Ultimately, this is about changing the world and preparing you to be servants and leaders in a global context. And you will understand in the next few years how different this place is in some ways. And one of those ways is the cross-cultural experience. It is very rare. Most colleges do not do a program like we do. And that will become increasingly evident to you as you move into your graduate school careers